Let me tell you something. Does it ever happen to you that when you want to learn a language, you want to speak with people in that language, you get stuck? You're looking for words in your brain in the language dump. And this is a problem that a lot of students of foreign languages face, especially if you don't have that kind of practice, don't know what to say and how to express anything. Today, I will talk about a little trick, how to understand your weaknesses in a given language and how to overcome them. And this method is for free. And this is a method which in my life was actually successful with English. I used to do this all the time when I was a student and I was studying English. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to practice this technique with French. How do we start? Let's get straight into it. So we start with a situation which you think could happen or you need to practice for some reason. For example, you want to introduce yourself. You want to be able to say who you are, what's your job, what are your hobbies, what's your family. Like, you need to think about your discourse, what you want to say. And then you start saying it in that language. It could be a situation, for example, at the station, at the airport, it could be at the restaurant, it could be anywhere, at school, at work, an interview, a job interview, a possible dialogue, a possible confrontation with someone. So let's start from scratch. Let's start from the basis. Introduction. In the following clips, I'm going to try and introduce myself in French. I have not revised French for 3 years. 3 years, okay? So it's a lot. As I told you in my previous video, it's like working out. When you speak a language, you need to keep it moving and, talk. You need to practice the language. Otherwise, it rots a little bit in our language brain dump. Our ability to use that language kind of diminishes, and we don't want that. But that's what happened with my French. So my French is bad. So let's move on to that. Mon Dieu. Okay, this is going to be bad. Bonjour, je m'appelle Pauline. J'ai 25 ans. Je suis polonaise italien. Je suis un professeur. Je ne suis pas professeur. Je suis un... I'm not a I was teacher. Teacher, such an easy word. Oh my gosh. J'enseigne l'anglais et je parle l'anglais, l'italien, le polonaise et je voudrais améliorer le français, mon français, s'il vous plaît. J'adore me maquiller beaucoup. J'adore étudier. I love studying. It's correct. J'adore regarder la télé et regarder les TV shows. Je ne suis pas très sportive, mais je voudrais changer ça. Mon couleur préféré, c'est... Je n'ai pas un couleur que je préfère. Mon couleur sont le rouge, le noir et le blanche. Mon couleur. J'ai also, I want to say j'ai also. J'ai aussi create. J'ai fait des vidéos et des photos pour l'internet. Je ne suis pas très fluente en français, mais I forgot everything. Pardonnez-moi tous les mots, tous les français. C'est un exercice pour moi pour améliorer mon français. I don't remember now. Alright, it was embarrassing, but we need that kind of exercise because we see the lack of information, the lack of knowledge we have, and we need to fill that in. We need to fill the gap. What I do next is I take notes of all the things I couldn't say, maybe some ways to express certain things in other ways, possibly what kind of questions could be asked when I say something. For example, I don't talk a lot about my family, so people could say, do you have brothers? Do you have sisters? Any siblings? Or work-related questions like, what's your job like? Where do you work? Do you work from home or do you work in an office, in a school? What are your numbers on social media? And then numbers in French, that's another chapter. It's also useful to imagine what kind of questions could be related to that. And that's a load of work. You can't predict everything. You can't predict a dialogue. You can't predict what people could ask. But this is a step towards fluency. So I will do my research. I look into those words, those expressions. I could watch videos on YouTube. I could watch a course that talks about that. I could read it in a course book, wherever. Something useful, and people in language schools never talk about this, but it's very important to express personal needs. So for example, I am allergic to fish and shellfish. If I ever go to France, I need to be able to express that type of thing. I need to be able to express that I can't have contaminated food with fish and shellfish. Of course, everything is very subjective. It depends on your needs. But even talking about something you like, oh, I love listening to rock and metal music. I love going to live concerts. I love wearing strong makeup, eccentric outfits. You want to learn to say that because language is about expressing yourself. So you can practice your own speaking on your own. This is just part of the language. It's not like, oh, I speak to myself, I know French, thank you so much. But this is a very useful part, and a lot of people neglect the actual need of expressing yourself and expressing what you want to say. I didn't even realize when I did this during high school. I did this a lot. So yeah, this was a very simple exercise, budget friendly because you don't need to pay for anything. Alright, let's try again, this time with my notes. Bonjour, bonsoir, je m'appelle Pauline, j'ai 25 ans, je suis polonaise et italienne. Je suis une enseignante et j'enseigne l'anglais. Je parle couramment l'anglais, le polonais et l'italien. Et j'aime le français beaucoup. J'adore me maquiller. J'aime assez les émissions de télé. Je voudrais faire du sport souvent. Je ne suis pas très sportive. Je fais des vidéos en ligne et des vidéos, des photos. Et je suis très désolée parce que j'ai oublié tout en français. Dans mon vidéo, j'ai vu un insecte sur la fenêtre. Je sais que je pouvais paraître stupide, mais cet exercice est très important pour moi, pour mon français. Et merci beaucoup pour regarder mon vidéo. Et oui, c'est ça. Was it perfect? No. Was it better? Yes. That's what I'm aiming at. Better, not perfect. Better. And every time I'll practice this, it will be better because I will add more vocabulary and I'll stop looking at my and my notes won't be as necessary as they are now. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped. Let me know if you use this technique because I'm so curious about it. I use it all the time. Now that I'm studying French, it will be all the time in my house like, oh mon Dieu, oh bon. Thank you once again, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Thank you for watching.